Hi, I recently got off work and I made some food and now I'm recording this. I was shuffling my Oracle deck, the new one. It's the Shaman Stream that I talked about the other day. And this one fell out. Dust Devil. At the bottom it says moving out stagnation. And honestly, I do feel like that's kind of happening to me right now. I do feel like with the spring cleaning and everything, I feel a little bit better in my space. So I have a little bit of work to do, but I woke up so late today that I pretty much had time to get up, do a little bit of movement, so like yoga and stuff, and then take a bath. Then I had to get ready for work, and pretty much that's where we landed. Space Ranger 3000, of course. Also known as Mama's baby. He's honestly just happy to be here. He's right. That's my baby. Junie is at the corner of the bed, which is amazing.
Little baby.
I do genuinely think that these cats have been a huge part of my healing, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about. So the night before last, I didn't sleep. I was doing all the spring cleaning, and by the time I would have been ready to go to bed, I just did not see the point. Plus, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to continue to clean my space because it needs to get done. It needs to get done before the end of the month. I don't know why, but it just had to be done. And at this point, I just like don't question anything. I just follow. So last night, I got home from work. I was kind of Wow. I'm not even going to fucking cut that out because I have a speech impediment sometimes. So I was spiraling a little bit in my head just about like things that happened in my childhood, like trying to understand like what exactly happened, which is kind of why I'm wearing some orange. I am healing my sacral, which is healing my womb. With that being said, that's why the baths have been so monumental for me. I genuinely think it's one of the only ways I can really meditate, where I can actually truly go into a space where I can kind of let go. And the reason for that is because the bathroom was the only place I was able to lock the door, which means that that was the only place I would feel safe. That's both in my old relationship and in my family's house. So with that came like a lot of emotional breakthroughs. I was able to meditate and become the observer and a passive in my life, and I think it's honestly been life-changing. And even in person at work today, I had multiple coworkers coming up and asking me like, oh, did you change your hair? You look different today. Did you shape your bangs to your face? I'm like, no, I straightened my hair, which like my hair is often straight, especially once I wash it, I just blow dry it straight pretty much. So my hair is straight all the time. And I did not cut my hair. Sometimes I'll like trim the bottom. Did not cut my hair. So I genuinely think it looks good on me. I think people can tell that I've kind of had like a change in my mood a little bit. And I think it's because like I understand. I'm petting my cat, by the way. Just realized my hand was like going like this at the bottom. I knew that there was like something going on internally that I wasn't remembering. And I've been like kind of like, you know, scapegoated my whole life, made to believe that I was just something I wasn't. And with having like the ADHD, and I wasn't like medicated till later on in life, it was really easy to distract me, really easy to make me think my memories were like skewed or that I was like a little bit crazy. And there's a certain point in my life that I kind of stopped sleeping. And I was like, why did I stop sleeping? And it's because I didn't feel safe. That's why I stopped sleeping. So now I'm healing my nervous system. I'm regulating everything. And even in my old place, I did not feel like I could sleep. There was one point where I looked at my ex and I was genuinely scared. I would smoke myself into oblivion until I could go to sleep. And I think there's reasons for those things. So now I'm regulating my nervous system because I live alone. I have to keep on reminding myself it's okay, I can go to sleep. And for a while I was like not really having a problem, but I was trying to like just cram so much in a little bit of time that I was pulling a lot of all-nighters, not giving my body the proper rest. And we need to sleep we need to dream, and I wasn't dreaming. I still sometimes don't dream, and I'm working on it. But in that meditative experience last night, I was in the tub, like meditating, half asleep. It felt like half asleep. And there's a memory I have whenever I was younger. And there's two experiences of this, one in my mother and stepdad's house, one in my father and stepmother's house. And I remember looking into mirrors and being so freaked out because I saw something and it scared the fuck out of me. Well, last night I was in the tub and I didn't take my makeup off before because I wasn't sure if I was gonna make a video after or something, but it was so late and I just knew that I needed to sleep. So I was like taking makeup wipes in the tub. I was just trying to rub it off and trying to wash my face. And at the end of my bath, I stood up and I had my bun up and I look in the mirror and it's my eyeliner like smeared. And I was like, holy shit. That's the memory that I had of myself whenever I was younger. And during my meditative experience, I like felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I was going crazy most of the day. I was struggling a lot, but I was writing a lot, which is nice. But I was like fighting myself in my head. And I think my body was like going back into the place whenever I was younger. And during the meditative experience, I I had to just be like, you're safe. You're okay. You're home alone. You're fine. Like, I just keep on telling myself affirmations. Just actually self-soothing, self-regulating. And I was able to bring myself down, calm myself down. And with that, I was able to understand so much about my childhood. I was able to understand what was happening, that I don't need to know all the exact details, that I know that the people that should have helped me chose not to help me. And I was never loved the way I needed to be loved. And I genuinely don't think I ever was loved until I got this cat, to be honest. And I think once I got him, he started healing me because I was sick for so long. I always had stomach problems, had migraines. Doctors couldn't find anything ever, nothing. Even whenever I used to live with my ex, I was chronically ill. And I think it's because the stress. Okay, buddy. He got overstimulated and started attacking me for 1 second. Basically, the stress of just like being the only one to really put in effort and to always be seen as bad. I think it was taking a toll, but I was also just like taking it to heart and not moving the fuck on when I should have. And with my family situation, obviously that's a little bit different, but I was still there. And I would have like different experiences, like why was my stepdad my sleep paralysis demon and shit like that. And I think we can kind of draw the conclusions there. I think we can. But when I meditated and became the observer, I realized that my life experiences don't make up who I am as a person. It genuinely doesn't fucking matter. Well, it does and it doesn't. But I cannot move forward in my life in the way I need to, having the mindset I had. But I think I needed to come to terms with what happened. And how can you come to terms with what happened if you don't even fucking know? Because I have like a lot of CPTSD going on. I got the ADHD. I was OD'd in high school, like on medication. There's just a lot of things. But with that being said, I think healing looks good on me. And that is enough for tonight. It is 4 a.m. and I have to be up at 9 for orientation for one of my jobs. So I'm gonna try to wind down. I shouldn't not pull any more all-nighters, but it's really hard not to. I hope you guys are all getting good sleep. I genuinely hope I do, and I hope I dream tonight.